A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
The Indiana Fever came into this matchup under immense pressure and scrutiny. They held a 12-12 record, right on the edge of mediocrity. Expectations were high all season, mostly because of rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Her arrival had electrified the league, drawn record-breaking viewership, and transformed Indiana from an overlooked squad into a media magnet. But now, Caitlin was on the bench injured with a groin strain. And in that moment, the world wondered, can this team actually win without her? For the Las Vegas Aces, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to pounce. The defending WNBA champions hadn't looked like their usual dominant selves this season, sitting just a game above .500 at 12-11. But even on an inconsistent season, they had experience, firepower, and cohesion. Many assumed they'd roll past Indiana, especially with Clark out of the lineup. But what unfolded was not just a surprising win. It was a statement of collective declaration from Indiana's roster, its coaching staff, and its bench that this team is more than just the sum of one superstar. Let's break it down. The mental shift without Caitlin Clark, one of the most intriguing aspects of this game was how Indiana adjusted mentally and tactically without their star. Most teams lose rhythm and confidence when their top playmaker sits. But Indiana used the moment to reset identity. Without Clark on the court, the ball didn't stick. There was less isolation. Instead, Indiana focused on movement, spacing, and defense-first play. Coach Christie Sides made it clear, this game would not be won through one-on-one heroics, but through smart, deliberate basketball. Offensively, the Fever spread the floor. They prioritized backdoor cuts, screens away from the ball, and rapid ball movement to wear down Vegas's defense. They didn't have Clark's gravity-drawing defenders, so they created pressure with unpredictability. Kelsey Mitchell. From cold to clutch, Kelsey Mitchell had everything to prove. The veteran guard had long been known for her explosive scoring potential, but also for her inconsistency. Entering the fourth quarter, she was just 4-for-19 from the field. Brutal. Most coaches would have benched her. But Sides didn't. Instead, she gave Mitchell freedom. Keep shooting, she told her. We need you. And Mitchell delivered. In the fourth quarter, with the game hanging in the balance, she scored 9 of her 21 total points. Every bucket felt timely. She hit off the dribble mid-range shots, attacked the basket, and knocked down a deep three that stopped a Vegas run cold. It wasn't just scoring. She also dished out assists, fought over screens on defense, and led the huddles with energy. This was not a Caitlin replacement moment. This was a Kelsey reawakening. Sophie Cunningham. The silent killer. Another standout was Sophie Cunningham. In the last few games, she had been quietly climbing into form, hitting threes, making hustle plays, and anchoring the wing defense. But this night was her true arrival. Inserted into the starting lineup, she finished with 15 points, going 3-4 from deep. But the numbers don't tell the full story. Every time Vegas made a push, Sophie responded. She hit corner threes that killed momentum. She boxed out against bigger forwards. She made hustle plays that don't show up on box scores. More importantly, she played with swagger, the kind of toughness Indiana needs in late playoff races. There's a real argument that Cunningham deserves 6th Player of the Year consideration. But after this game, she might not be coming off the bench much longer. Natasha Howard. Heart of the defensive. Mitchell was the offensive spark and Cunningham the glue. Natasha Howard was the heartbeat. Her stat line, 18 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals. But even that feels like an understatement. She guarded everyone from A'ja Wilson to the perimeter shooters. She altered shots, boxed out, communicated loudly on switches, and brought elite defensive discipline. and when Vegas tried to mount a comeback, it was Howard who got the key stops and cleaned the glass. Howard's presence allowed Indiana to defend without overhelping, keeping rotations sharp and limiting wide open Vegas looks. It was vintage, veteran dominance. After the game, she said, "Our defense gets our offense going." And she wasn't wrong. Multiple Fever runs were sparked by Howard forcing turnovers or grabbing tough boards. Ari McDonald, the Daggerthon, came the game-sealer. With about 35 seconds left, Indiana held a 5-point lead. Vegas had possession. One more stop could lock it up. One mistake could unravel it. Enter Ari McDonald. She came off a high screen, saw the defender sag, and without hesitation pulled up for a step-back three. Swish! The shot silenced the arena. It was the dagger both in the game and metaphorically. McDonald only played 22 minutes, but her 9 points, 4 assists, and defensive pressure felt like a starter's impact. That one shot will be replayed in Indiana highlight reels for weeks to come. Coaching masterclass by Christie Sides. Perhaps the most underrated performance came from the sidelines. Christie Sides made a gutsy decision. Don't overhaul the offense without Caitlin. Instead, simplify it, run more motion, rely on veteran instincts, and let the bench play free. She also trusted her struggling stars. Mitchell was cold, sides didn't panic. Cunningham was hot, sides gave her more minutes. She used timeouts well, kept Vegas from getting momentum, and adjusted defensively in the fourth by packing the paint and forcing tough twos. This win wasn't just about grit. It was about execution, and that starts with coaching. Narrative shift. Indiana, in just Caitlin's team, perhaps the biggest victory wasn't even the final score. It was the narrative flip. For weeks, national media and even some fans had painted Indiana as Caitlin Clark and friends. A one-player team. The implication was that without her, they couldn't function. That narrative died tonight. This was a team win in every sense. Balanced scoring, smart rotations, multiple defensive leaders. The Fever didn't just survive. Without Caitlin, they thrived. And when Caitlin returns, she won't be burdened to save them. She'll be rejoining a team that knows who it is, confident, dangerous, and growing. Big picture. What this win means going forward. With this win, Indiana improves to 13-12, climbing to 6th in the WNBA standings. More importantly, they go to 2-1 against Las Vegas in the season series, possibly critical for playoff tie-breakers. But beyond rankings, this game plants a seed. Indiana is not an underdog anymore. They have a balanced roster with shooters, slashers, and defenders, a coach who makes the right mid-game adjustments, a bench that's unafraid of big moments, veterans who can take over in the clutch. This game wasn't a fluke. It was a preview. If Indiana continues to play like this with Caitlin Clark eventually back in the lineup, this team can make serious playoff noise.
Steph, Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity, and her ability, not just to be at the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff, a lot less on-ball actions.
Coach